Assetto Corsa EVO has received a bombardment of negative criticism, maybe most of it deserved. However, it's also worth pointing out really good critical points about a video game when you notice them. And so in this video, I want to talk about something that's incredibly subtle, probably totally pointless, but what actually genuinely caught me off guard and is truly beautiful. Almost as beautiful as high quality grass in racing simulators. This will seem like a bit of a joke and like a completely stupid thing to draw attention to, but this genuinely looks absolutely amazing, and I think that most people would miss it, so I'm going to draw attention to it. And whilst doing so, I also want to make some points about the reality of sim development and the reality that's probably being faced by the developers of Assetto Corsa EVO, the people actually doing the work. If you work in games development, remember to subscribe so you can unsubscribe when a YouTuber shit talks your product that you spent time working on. You can also click the like button 3 times or 4 times or 5 times, it's infinitely. And thanks again to all our channel members. No refunds, I'm afraid. It's early access here. So I was playing EVO and testing out different settings and thinking about things as I normally do. And we were driving around the beautiful Brands Hatch. You can see the video footage of it here. And one thing that stood out that I really started noticing was the quality of the road texture, but not just the texture of the road, the way in which the road surface itself was reflecting the scene, the sky, the trees, the environment, and the nature in which the road surface was reflecting the scene. This might seem like an incredibly small thing. And also, if you're getting frame rate performance issues and you're struggling to get the game to run smooth and you're not enjoying the driving, you're not enjoying the force feedback, you're not enjoying other stuff, this is certainly not the most important thing. But put that to one side for a minute and activate your eyeballs, concentrating specifically on the road surface, and look at how the road surface is reflecting the sky, the trees, the environment, and then also how the road surface's little specular highlights are operating. Like, look right there how you can kind of see the actual clouds and the blue of the sky really subtly on the road, and how that sky is wonderfully illuminating the road surface and giving it this sort of not just boring tarmac colour and feel. I know this is mental, guys, but I actually really love this sort of stuff with video games. This is kind of where like my grass obsession comes from. I really love the idea that you have hundreds, thousands or millions of individual blades of grass all being rendered on a computer processor and then being displayed on a screen, and it's happening. Maybe I'm old and these kind of things just blow my mind with computers, but these sort of subtle details I think are genuinely incredible. Again, we don't play driving sims for how they look primarily, or the road surface or the grass, but whoever's done the settings, the texture work, the lighting, the graphics programming and the fundamentals for these visuals with this title, they've done a really good job. They've actually done a really good job. All those graphics and visuals for sure are maybe not as important as them running smoothly. Again, it's worth saying, but you really do have to appreciate a nice, shiny, but naturally shiny road. In racing simulators, the road surface is kind of the thing that you're spending most of the time looking at. So it helps for it to be pretty damn beautiful and sexy. I would also say as well, having a road surface that's got these little details and intricacies and reflections and highlights really does help ground you in the environment and give a perception of speed and placement on the track. It's the road that's closest to you, so when you've got all these little details, skid marks, blemishes and things whizzing past you, that's what makes you actually feel like you're going quickly. And I do think Evo actually gets a very good natural sensation of speed, largely because of how well done the road surface and subtle details of the road surface are, which sadly, because of YouTube compression, I think might be a little bit lost in videos. But if you have the chance to play this game on a supercomputer, it really is super impressive. And this leads me to another point that I don't think is said loudly enough, and that is the aspect of video games and games development, is that they're not made, modern games are not made by one person. They're made by quite large teams of people. Even if it was only 20 people, that's quite a large number of people. You know, if you've ever been on the London Underground, how many people are in a carriage? It feels really crammed. With just 20 people is obnoxious. So 20 people, it's quite a large number of people. And the people actually doing the grunt work, programming the graphics engine, programming the underlying physics, doing all the artwork, you know, the people working away on these titles are normally, if not always, from my experience, working really bloody hard. And the reason why things end up being a bit crap is not because they're not working hard enough, it's because there hasn't been enough time for them to do the correct amount of work or polish things up or do what's needed relative to what's being demanded of them by the producer, the publisher, you know, the financial constraints of the project. That doesn't really matter to the end consumer. At the end of the day, you need a game that works well and is fun to play. Doesn't really matter that people worked hard on it. If it's still crap, it's crap for the end user. But it's worth considering that the people actually doing the work are normally working really bloody hard, and they don't often ever see the positives. If a game does really well, sells really well, well, they get the basic salary, maybe a little bonus, but they're basically forgotten and exploited by the business that they're working for. And if the game doesn't do well, well, maybe they lose their job and again are exploited by the business they're working for, but with the bonus of everybody on the internet ragging on them and them not being able to talk publicly about the project that they probably actually did really good work on. But no one really understands that, because all they perceive and see is the general end reception of the product, not the specific thing that that person actually did a really good job on when you consider the constraints of which they had to work in. So when I see online comments from people on my channel where people go, "Ah, lazy developers," I kind of want to facepalm with a brick. Sadly, I am familiar with some aspects of the games industry, fortunately only briefly and only mildly, so it's not affected me too badly. But I can assure you, very few people are actually lazy in the games industry. And the people that are lazy are not the ones doing the bulk of the work, as it is the case in all industries. So that covers my back for all my critical comments and misery surrounding Assetto Corsa EVO. I wanted to talk about something positive, and I just wanted to shed a bit of light on the actual reality of games development. I'm hoping the best for EVO. Congratulations to the people that are working really hard and have done the right thing. Let's hope that this game gets somewhere decent before the end of the decade. Thanks for watching. Happy tea drinking. Enjoy your road surfaces, take care, and goodbye.